Hello everyone and welcome back to Python lessons on Codecademy. Today we'll be continuing on with the even harder part on Codecademy where we don't get as many instructions. So let's start off by making a reverse function. So the first thing we need to do is define a function called reverse that takes in one argument text, which is going to be a string. Then we need to return it in reverse, just as the function says. So for example, reverse ABCD should return DCBA. You may not use reversed, I don't know what that is, or colon -1 to help you with this, because I know what the second one is and that's really simple. You may get a string containing special characters, for example exclamation mark, at, or pound. Okay then, so let's see what we can do. I'm pretty sure that we will need an empty string because we will need to be returning a new value or a new string. So I will start off by making that. We will definitely need to be looping through our string. So let's also make a for loop because that's the simplest way to go for this. So let's say for letter in text, and then I guess output, and concatenate what needs to be concatenated onto it. We need to concatenate some character from text to it. So if we say -n, then oops, no, it shouldn't be in text, it should be in range, and the length of text +1. And then if we do return output, so that it's returning it, let's actually see what this does, and then I will explain my logic behind it. Okay, it doesn't work. Reverse normal name n is not defined, error. What? Oh, for minus letter, I mean, not n. It returns p exclamation mark noch tp when it should return. Okay. Is that going to work? No. It returns that when it should return that. Isn't that the same thing? Oh no. Is it +2 then? No, because that's out of range. Okay. So we get an extra p at the start. Why is that? I don't know. So if we're looping through it, we start at the end. So range. Oh, we don't need to. Oops, this is why. Because our start should be 1, not 0. There we go. So let's explain this now. We enter this function with a string. So let's say this string is ABCD, as the example is. Then we have a new variable, a blank string, and we go through our ABCD string using our for loop. That for loop goes has letter as the variable, and goes through the list of 1 through the length of the list +1. So therefore it should go through 5. So 1 from 1 to 5. Then letter becomes 1, and output plus equals text. And if you do start at -1, it's going to print the first letter from the back, or concatenate the first letter from the back to output. So therefore it's going to concatenate D. Then letter is going to be 2, and here it's going to be -2 because we have the minus. So it's going to concatenate C. Then we have -3, B, -4, A. And then I don't know what happens when we have -5. I actually don't know what happens if we have -5. Because that is what happens. Or does it? Oh no, it doesn't, because we stop at this stops at exactly the length of the string. So that's why it works. Because it's start, stop, and yeah. Okay, so if you have any questions about this or want it more explained in more detail, then please do ask in the comments. Otherwise, this works, so you can just copy it into your Codecademy account. So let's move on. Anti-vowel. Nice work. Next up, vowels. Okay, define a function called anti-vowels that takes one string text as input and returns the text with all of the vowels removed. For example, anti-vowel hey you should return hi y. Don't count y as a vowel. Make sure to remove lowercase and uppercase vowels. So let's make a new string called output, and it's going to be a blank string again. So let's now loop through our text string by saying, let's say, letter in text, and if a letter isn't one of the vowels, so let's do letter dot lower so that we don't have to check uppercase and lowercase. Then so A, if letter vowel and whatever it is, so let's just copy and paste this, A, E, okay. I don't know how efficient this is going to be, but let's try it like this first. So I'm just going to put the vowels in there. So if it doesn't equal, then we need to concatenate it to output letter. And we don't need an else, so we just need to return output. Function called anti-vowels. Oh, it should be anti-vowel, not anti-vowels. Okay. It returns H when it should return high LK words. Why does it only return H? So if it doesn't equal any of the vowels, then it should concatenate and go on. That's weird. That is very weird. If the letter dot lower doesn't equal any of those, so okay, then concatenate letter to output. Let me think about this. So we have a string, and that string is text, so each letter is going to be looked through, and then if it isn't a vowel, then it's going to be concatenated. Your function fails on anti-vowel hey look words. It returns H when it should return high LK words. This is confusing me. Let me use Python because I can't work in this kind of environment. So yeah, come on Python, open. Here we go. I will just open an old file. There we go. Now if you run it, it should only, let's get the function in. There we go, and our text is hey look words, hey look words. Invalid syntax. Oops. Did I cut that? I probably did. Let's call it text. Anti-vowel is not defined. Oh, it's anti-vowel. Oh, we need to print this as well. I forgot to print. Let's see. So it does only print H. But why is that? Let's see how many times it enters this. Print hi. So it only enters the for loop once. Oh, that's why. I indented that incorrectly. I hate when I do those stupid errors. Okay then, so this does work. Is there any more efficient way of doing this? I don't know. Because I know those are the vowels. If you say the non-vowels, then that's a bigger list. But you can make a list of and then put that list in there if you wanted to. So for now, let's move on. Scrabble score. Well, I don't know how to play Scrabble, so don't judge me if I make any mistakes. Okay, so let's see what Scrabble is. Scrabble is a game where players get points by spelling words. Words are scored by adding together the point values of each individual letter. We'll leave out the double and triple letter and word scores for now. To the right is a dictionary containing all of the letters in the alphabet with their corresponding Scrabble point values. Okay. For example, the word helix would score 15 points due to the sum of the letters. 4 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 8. So let's define a function called Scrabble score. Okay. It takes a string word as an argument. Assume your input is only one word containing no spaces or punctuation. Okay. As mentioned, no need to worry about score multipliers. Your function should work even if the letter you get are uppercase, lowercase, or a mix. Assume that you're only given non-empty strings. Okay. So we will need some kind of counter, so we'll just call it counter equals 0 at first, and then we'll list through all of the letters. For letter in word, counter is, oops, I need to do right in, and counter plus equals, then we need to get the value of that letter. So if we do score, square brackets, the letter, so the key of score should give us the value, and then just return counter. It should work. No, it doesn't. Did you create a function called Scrabble score? Yes, I did. You're go through a local variable counter referenced before assignment error. Okay. Oh, right. Oh, is this the problem? Remember, oh yes, we need to make for letter dot lower. No, not there. Dot lower here. There we go. So let's explain this in a bit more detail. So we enter the function with a word. So let's actually just do helix because we can. And helix. If we do that, counter is set to 0, and you go through each letter in the string. So we start off with H. Counter plus equals, so we don't have to worry about that for now. And score. In score, we look for the key of H. So it finds H, finds that its value is 4. So counter plus equals 4. Then it does it for every other letter, and it returns the sum of the score of all of the scores, depending on the letters that are inside the word. Again, if you want more details on this, then please just ask in the comments, and I will do my best to reply. For now, let's move on. Censor. You're doing great with these string function challenges. Last one. Okay. Write a function called censor. Not censor. That takes two strings, text and word, as input. It should return the text with the word you choose replaced with asterisks. Oh, okay. Fair enough. For example, this hack is whack hack hack. It should return this asterisks is whack asterisks. Assume your input strings won't contain punctuation or uppercase letters. The number of asterisks you put should correspond to the number of letters in the censored word. I know that you can multiply a string by a number to get that string copied as many times as you multiplied it by the number. So let's first of all do for how should we start this off? For and in text, if the word is in text, then we need to find the index that it starts at and finishes. Well, actually just starts at, don't we? We can make it into a list and then convert it back to a string, but that would be too much, I think. So how should we do this? Let's think. If word in text, so if our word is in text, then we need to replace it with asterisks. How can we get the index at which? Let's see. Text dot index of our word. I don't think we can do that though. For n in text is just gonna go through all of the letters, so that won't do us any good. If until it's done, so while true, let's start it off like this, do this, and then if it is in there, then replace it, and then else break, and then we will just return text because we will be editing text. So let's actually think about the actual function. If word in text, text.index word equals, what should we make it? We need to make it the length of our word times asterisks. I don't think this is going to work, but let's see what it gives us. Count assign to function call. Did you censor? Yes, we did. Is not defined. Error. Global name censor is not defined. Error. Did I misspell that? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Okay, so it's just this line that isn't working. Let's just split it up into a list and then make it into a string again. So a list equals text.split. This is just going to split a string into a list at every blank space. and then instead of word I will do that. So let's see what happens now. Line 5, so this is again line 5. The index of word, well, not of that, actually, of a list, should equal that. And then, ooh, oh, this is really difficult to think about right on the spot. So let's see again. If word in a list dot index of that word equals make the index of that to be okay. So that should be fine, but it isn't. Can't assign to function call. Did you create a function called sensor? Your code through a global name sensor is not defined there. I like working in Python, so let's work in Python. Okay, line 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What was the error again? There is an error in your program. Can't assign to function call. Let's do sensor with some words. And let's copy the sentence from Codecademy, which was, here we go. And let's paste it. So let's see. It should give us the error, yes. And can't assign. I don't understand that error. I just do not understand the error. Oh, actually, no. This gives us a number, so it doesn't work that way. So we need to get the. Okay, so a list, the index of the index. Is that going to work? Yes. What if we do print that? Okay, that doesn't work, but at least we don't get any errors. Let's see what Codecademy says about this. Okay, your function fails on sensor. Hey, hey, hey. It returns when it should return that. Okay, so while true, if word in a list, is it supposed to contain punctuation? Assume your input strings won't contain punctuation uppercase letters. Okay, so that helps me. Replacing that with that, and make that index the length of word times the how many times asterisks, otherwise break. Let's see how many times this is actually executed. So let's print hi like I normally do, and let's run. So it actually never enters into that if. So, oh, because we didn't actually give it anything to do. Let's call it again with this. So it enters twice and then, but then does nothing. That's weird. This hack is whack hack, and it doesn't censor the hack. Okay, why doesn't it do that? But it enters it twice like it should. And the index, so that should be replaced with that. I have no idea why it's not getting replaced. That's my problem right now. Okay, I'll be back once I find the solution. So I finally figured it out, and I remembered that I actually never converted the list back into a string. I did look at the hint and that helped me. So we can use .join blank space .join list, and our list is called a list. So, and we need to put that into text. Therefore this should work. Okay then, it does work. Good. Sorry about this, but Codecademy does get a little bit more complicated because now we're into the third of doing it, because we've done our 2/3. So yeah, if you have any hints on how I can do this quicker, or if you would like to see it more cut than it currently is, then please do post in the comments. And because I actually don't know what you guys would want to see. Do you want to see me trying to work it out, or are you just interested in the solution and why it works? So let's actually explain this, I guess. We enter the function called censor, and we make a list which contains all of the words in this string called text. While we have that list, we enter a while loop, and it does this forever unless there are no more words to change. So if this word is in our list, so basically in the string, then we're saying replace that word with another string which has the same length as that word, or the same number of characters as that word, but all of the characters are going to be an asterisk, such as censor. How we do this is by looking up the index of that word in our list, or in our string in a different way. And once we do that, we replace the index gives so .index gives us an integer, and then once we have that integer, we know what our index is. So we take the list and that index and make that value of that index equal to the length of word times asterisk, which is just going to create a new word. Once all of the words have been replaced, it enters the else and breaks. At the end, we make a new list, a new string, which replaces our old string with our list basically, but it's joined up. What .join does is it joins up every element of a list with whatever you give it here. So I can put, if I wanted to, I could put a colon. Oops, not there. If I wanted to, I could put a colon there, and in between each element of that list, it would put a colon and join it up in a string. So, and then after that's done, it returns text, which is our new string. So yeah, please tell me what I should do if my videos get too long with me thinking too much. And please like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more Python Codecademy videos. Dislike and tell me what you didn't like about this video so that I can improve. So until next time,